Are you concerned about hormones in milk? One of our viewers has a history of breast cancer and is worried about the hormones in milk and wants to know if they're safe. So the subject has gotten a lot of attention, solicited a lot of concerns from consumers, and raised questions about the safety and healthfulness of milk. But over the last 20 years, there have been at least a dozen studies that have examined whether consuming dairy products is related to breast cancer. And the results are mixed. Some studies say, yes, there's a higher risk. Some studies say there's a lower risk. And some studies say there's no effect at all. And when we get such differing opinions, it's really hard to draw conclusions. In science and in public health, we like to have a conclusive body of evidence before we make recommendations. So this is very individualized. You really need to talk to your doctor about you and your case. But let me just give you a little bit of background about hormones in milk. When you orally ingest hormones, so that means drinking the milk, you metabolize them in the body differently. So the bioavailability is not the same, and it has very little significant impact on your physiology. There is one study that I thought was interesting that looked at the fat content of milk. And they followed women for over 12 years, and they found that women who consumed one serving a day of high-fat dairy, meaning cheese or full-fat milk, had a higher risk of death from breast cancer than those who did not have one serving a day, had less than a half a serving a day of a full fat. So I would think that following the dietary guidelines to consume low-fat dairy would be to your advantage. And talk it over with your doctor. But according to the American Cancer Society on their website, they said at this time it's not clear whether drinking milk is of concern regarding cancer risk. So because the studies are so different, there's no recommendation to say don't do it. But I think it's a very personal decision that you need to make along with your doctor. But at this time, there's no advice not to drink milk.